Hi, my name is Winsley, and welcome to my video going over Endag's mod for Age of Wonders 4. This is the Ascension mod, Repentance. There's currently two other overhaul mods that I know of, and it kind of reminds me of the saying, great minds think alike. I think it's really cool that a lot of people are working on things like this, and I've noticed that a couple of these have come out over the past few weeks. I think a lot of people are thinking that it'd be kind of cool to address the balance themselves or just kind of come up with some ideas to try come up with addressing certain play styles that have developed over like the past few months. And I'm very happy to have the author of the mod here. Hi, Endag.
Hello, hello.
I
It
know
is I.
the famous Endag of multiplayer madness.
How crazy, right?
I'm really happy that I have you here to kind of like go over all the little details in this overhaul mod because it's quite extensive. I know there's like 17 pages of patch notes, which we will take a little bit of a look at today, but I didn't want to start with that. I thought a good place to start would be just kind of look at like what is here on your Steam page and then some testimonials from a multiplayer that I was watching yesterday that where you were playing with, I think, uh,
Oh yeah,
three
we were
other
playing with
people.
Ukiyo and Meliods. Yeah, like three more people.
And yeah, I think that it'd be great to get other people's feedback on the mod so that you can start adjusting things and like making the game something that you enjoy more. You were just telling me how you think that Reapers aren't a very good tier 5 unit, and when you compare it to like the Shrine of Smiting, it's not doing enough damage, right?
Not only not doing enough damage, it's also just not doing anything else. Like for example, Shrine has a one action point attack. Reaper is three action points. And it also can't even target heroes while we're at it.
Yeah, I can pull up the actual moves here. This is using the database, so it has like the base game version of the Reaper, and he's got like this 45 damage. It's not enough when you compare it to the Shrine of Smiting, and it's like kind of cool that it can like boost
Yeah,
other
not even
units
the
with
base
Dark
attack
Rights.
is like cutting it honestly.
Yeah,
Like even the base attack kinda sucks.
the getting strengthened from this thing as a free action at range is kind of neat, but yeah, I think
Yeah, the Grey Ops consumption is quite nice actually, but there's not much else this unit has going for it.
I could find the changes in here pretty quickly, or I could try and look it up in the game, right? Because you
You're
said
looking at them right now, I think.
oh, it's right at the top. Perfect. So yeah, now it's a free action, higher range, Reaper has more
Yeah,
health.
there's a lot of changes.
And I think you organize it so you have like the tomes at the top and then like some more general stuff at the bottom. We can kind of like hop around a little bit. I don't think we need to read off every single number, but just kind of like talk about the guiding
Oh, definitely
philosophies
not,
here.
dude. Like, it's not even 17 pages. There's 21 now.
Oh wow, it changed since I last downloaded stuff. Well, it's because you're getting the feedback. You made the thing live. I don't know if you saw the stream where Avoxel mentioned that they have been paying attention to the conversations around balance mods and how they're taking some inspiration from the changes they're seeing in those mods, and they're going to try incorporating some of them in the future. So I think that's really great. And if you can explain like why you did certain things a certain way, I think in this video it could help like sell those changes for the future in case anybody does happen to look at this video and the testimonials that I've collected here. So yeah, before we look at this, I think let's just kind of talk more about the testimonials and or what we have here on the Steam page. This is just kind of like going over the fact that you have a pretty big changelog, right?
Yeah. Well,
Um,
on the Steam page, there's not really a lot of testimonials. Like, this kind of came out 4 days ago, as you can see. But we have played a couple multiplayer games with it, and people have loved it. I think you can also enjoy this at single player as well, because, like, this does just kind of buff everything. Like, not equally, but, like, it buffs everything to, like, the same power level. Like,
what
for example, as we mentioned, Reapers are buffed because they're kind of bad. Horned Gods also got buffed because they're also kind of bad. But Shrines of Smiting also got buffed because I kind of felt like with everything getting buffed, they kind of needed something too, but they only got 10 health because they already do enough damage. I just felt they were like a little bit too squishy in comparison because now everything does more damage. And on that note, almost everything is tankier, like at the same time. So everything doing more damage is kind of offset by that. So more than anything, kind of just equalizes the playing field for all the units and tomes and spells, so that you actually have choices to make.
One
Like
thing.
one example actually of that also is Devouring Void,
Hmm.
which in the base game has a 1 hex radius, and then you compare it to something like Lava Burst, which has a 2 hex radius, does fire damage, and also inflicts debuffs. So I made Devouring Void 3 hex and growing because even though against AI, it's fine because the AI kind of just sits there and lets it kill them. But against players, this is effectively like a tier 4 tome Tremor Shock from Terramancy, which does like 30 damage physical with absolutely nothing to go for it.
Yeah, let's see. If I want to find it in here, I have to go to like which tome is it in? It's an shadow one, so
Yeah, it's Sum of Oblivion.
Tome of Oblivion. Right, because I wasn't sure exactly what this one does off the top of my mind. Off the top of my head, this says, yeah, you can sustain 30 physical damage, and you can avoid that. That's pretty interesting the way you changed that. I know it's
It
something that
sounds cool on paper, yeah.
Smokewagon pointed out that you could choose feudal now, and I noticed that the lords are pretty interesting. I really like this change to the points you need to get the Lord of Things. It's now 0 points, and I think in a similar vein, you changed the points behind killing momentum, right?
Yeah, honestly, that was mostly a reaction to people in the multiplayer community because we always have this issue where like we end up banning skills like Killing Momentum and too many heroes because people are like, oh, this like stack of 3 heroes just 3v18 my entire army. So this makes it a little harder because you can't really get these skills so easily, like Spare to Action and Killing Momentum, because they are now 3 skill points. Also, Weaver is 1 or 3 skill points too, but it got unnerfed. It's its old version. Actually, where is Weaver?
I was gonna say I
Do you
don't
not
see
have
it in
Weaver?
that list for some reason. That is kind of
That's really
interesting. It
weird.
must have bugged out for one reason or
It's probably
another.
a
Huh.
bug,
Well,
because I
yeah,
did have it unlocked
that's
yesterday,
part of the
so I don't
risks
know
of
what you did.
modding, right? Maybe, yeah, because it's like a newer version
But
and
yeah,
things changed.
I hope that's not a bug I have to fix. I hope that just fixes itself. But yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
yeah. So feudal lords now give a lot more resources and cost no skill points. And Lord of War, by the way, the tooltip is bugged. I tried really hard to fix that one, but I can't fucking figure it out. So it does 25 hit points and regenerates 100% of your move points. So it's basically a Ritual of Alacrity if you can min-max it.
Wow, that's very viable. That's why people were really enjoying it in the MP. I know
Yep,
people liked Mystics too. I know you changed something with the Astral Echoes. I wasn't sure
yeah.
exactly what the
Astral
change was,
Echoes
so
now give you a lot more mana and they give you slightly more knowledge, but they also give you both, not just one of them.
see if it works in this version.
It probably doesn't in that version if you have an older one,
Yeah,
but well, they don't do anything there. But yeah, when you pick them up, you get both resources and you get a little bit more knowledge and a lot more mana.
I see. Yeah, there's one just out of my reach at game start, so I might be able to. I see. I don't even really ever play Mystics. I don't know how the base game stuff works. It gives you a choice or one of two things.
In the base game, I think you get between 30 and 50 or 20 to 40, but I changed it to between 90 and 110 mana. Wait, no, that was before the change to getting both. Yeah, so you get 60 to 70 mana and 40 to 50 knowledge.
Yeah,
So
that
yeah,
sounds
basically the
nice.
idea behind that is that these cultures really cannot compete with barbarians and industrious because barbarians have ritual of alacrity, so they just farm the entire map, and industrious just prospect the entire map, but also have the best heroes that just never die because they have defensive master.
And
So
you did a
this is
big
not
change
actually
on
the only culture that got
champions,
buffed.
right?
Oh yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
changed champion. Champion is a lot tankier now. It's just a base stat change, but also they do more physical damage. Yeah, you have the old change where you get 90 to 110 mana
Mm-hmm. That makes
in this
sense.
one.
Yeah, updates. They're coming fast, which is great. It means
Yeah,
it
I'm
did
kind of
that to it.
updating constantly.
But
But yeah, the other culture change that is really spicy is high culture with the alignment and gender. So now you get a multiplier to your mana and knowledge when you are good for every good alignment level. And for evil, you get a multiplier to your gold and your draft. So if you manage to be pure good, you essentially get Hermit Kingdom, which is 30% knowledge, but you also get 30% mana. And if you're evil, you get the same, but for or golden draft.
it's
The
updated
tooltip
here.
doesn't work yet,
Yeah, I was gonna
no, but
say. Yeah.
it does work. It does work. And yeah, so feudal, mystic, and high are all very good now. Dark and river I have not actually touched yet, but I do plan to. Actually, honestly, maybe your comments could give some fucking ideas on how to fix those, because I
Yeah.
honestly don't know.
No, and me neither. I'm not, not an expert at this, but I'm open to
Yeah, tell
suggestions.
us
It'd
in
be
the
great.
comments what to do with dark culture.
Give it more knowledge. Knowledge is power. I don't know. You changed
I
mana
can
addicts as
always
well,
give
like
them
that.
infinite knowledge, but I don't know how. Like in a, you know, balanced way.
I know people were really liking the changes to mana addicts. Weren't all three of the other players using this?
They were. You are not using the society trait mod though, so you can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So mana addicts now gives you Omni Attunement and Arcane Surge, which are some somewhat obscure properties. But basically, you get 3 random buffs and 1 strengthened and 1 bolster defense and resistance whenever you cast a spell. And you also have the mana addict lifesteal and morale debuff if you don't cast one. But also your combat spells cost 25% more, so it's like a reverse economy trait. So it's quite powerful, especially if you can rush someone early, because the buffs are really hard to beat when you don't have supports or the units to overcome the early game engagements.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to
Now, I
get it
do
up,
think
but
people are overestimating it because there are changes to every society trait in the society chain change log. So there are some very powerful ones that are not mana addicts. I think people just really like that one because it's very flashy more than anything. Like it's really fun to play with.
oh, is it not in this document actually?
It should be.
Addict.
Hold on, wait. Let me link you the document that definitely has it. Here you go.
Okay, I'll just find it later and pull it up, I think, because there's a few things here that we could talk about before. Um,
Yeah, we'll fix it in post production.
yeah, exactly. Like I wanted to talk about the champions. I think those are pretty interesting. Just created a custom person. I don't remember what they were called.
Yeah, champion basically became a 1 unit hyper carry. So the full changes to them are plus 30 health, plus 3 defense and resistance, and plus 4 physical damage. So you're not exactly invincible as it might appear because I think someone did the math when we were playing yesterday and they were saying, oh, champion is 80% tankier and does more damage. This is insane. I didn't really understand the math. It didn't feel like that, but his math checked out. I think. I'm not entirely sure, but champion is definitely like way harder to kill and does a lot more damage. It really does feel that way, especially in manual combat where you actually control your moves.
Yeah. No, the exponentials are kind of weird. It's kind of hard to make sense of how they really compare to one another. But I'm seeing that now. That's a pretty big improvement in defensiveness and then HP and then you said also
Yeah, also
resistance and
check
other
your
things,
weapon.
right?
It
Now,
now does 14 because you have plus 4 damage,
wonderful.
which works with melee and range weapons. Well, it works with anything physical, so even if you have a
Ah.
magic weapon, if it's physical, it'll work.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say then the magic guys maybe miss out. And did you say the Omni thing would be somewhere here in the description?
Yeah, it should be, but I don't think you have the society trait mod.
Oh, so it's like another one that you
Yeah,
can download separately to make it, yeah, a little bit more
yeah. So
interesting or
actually, we
different. That's cool
split
that you're offering that. I think it's like the
these
doc.
changes into three mods. There is Ascension mod Repentance, and Legendary Rallies. And Ascension mod is only society traits. Ascension mod Repentance, which is what you have downloaded right now, I think,
Mm-hmm.
is the one with all the unit changes, the champion changes, the tome changes, spell changes.
Yeah.
And you can find the link to the society traits like right there, Steam community, in the first thingy that you're looking at right now.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
And I
sense.
didn't link legendary rallies anywhere here, but it's a separate mod that makes Rally of the Lieges give you way better units if you have specific wonders.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way to get a progenitor golem in your army, currently actually, because if you have a sphere, like one of those new gold wonders, Rally of the Lieges will offer you a progenitor golem.
That's pretty cool. And the Reapers that you had in the MP, that was just something that was in the base game, or was that from the Rally of the Lieges mod?
That is also from the rally. It
Yeah.
makes the Lost Queen's Crypt give you a Reaper and a
Yeah.
Corrupt Soul instead of just a Corrupt Soul.
Pretty cool. I had a few other things in here, like how healing sap is no longer once per combat, which makes entwined protectors viable, right? That I think was pretty much verbatim your words, a quote yesterday.
Yeah, pretty much. Healing Sap, I don't really understand the design philosophy behind making it once per combat, considering it's not even granting you regeneration. But I mostly, at least my philosophy here, was to give the units like an identity. Like if you see melee strike on this unit,
Mm-hmm.
it does a lot less damage than it does at base. If you look at the database, I think this does 12 or 13.
Yeah, I can pull that up.
Actually, did I change that? I may have forgotten. This unit may just do like no damage at base.
13.
Yeah, 13. Yeah, so it does less damage because, as you see, it also got a shitload of health and some defense and resistance because it's a shield unit.
Mm-hmm.
It's intended to be like your front line that is not supposed to solo the enemy team by just being way tankier and still doing damage. It's supposed to tank through for you. So for example, if you look something like the Zephyr Archer in the database, you'll see that they do a lot more damage, or the Glade Runner, which has more range now.
This
It's
is
not in
just
wildlife. I think it's tome units.
yeah. This is I'm just noticing the numbers were cut off a little bit in the video, but they get the idea.
They get the idea, yeah.
um,
Like basically shield units, more health, damage dealers, more damage. So your unit like compositions matter a lot more.
yeah. There's the Zephyr
It's a lot
Archer.
harder to spam just one unit.
Wanted
Yeah,
to.
as you see, they do like 20% more damage, but also they have some armor bypass.
Oh, they have armor bypass, like the.
Doesn't show in the tooltip, but yeah, they do. And also
Oh,
the blade
wonderful.
does show in the tooltip. So yeah, they also bleed now on attacks.
It's tricky stuff getting to change these things, and I don't know if like Bedok could help you with that, but yeah, I know it's just like people pick up their own skills, and sometimes there's some overlap. Um,
At the
next,
very least, you can feel the difference, which is the important part, I would say. But yeah, I would like to get all the tooltips working, but some of them are really weird. Like they're not like the others.
I think you're
I
doing a
don't know
lot.
why, but
I think it's very impressive, honestly. How long did this take
thank
you to put
you.
together?
I didn't count, but I haven't shaved for 2 weeks, so
About
I
that
don't know.
long?
Probably about that long, but it's like I said, I didn't shave for 2 weeks, so pretty hands-on work rather than idle work.
Hmm. There was one other thing that people mentioned in the, like the testimonials, which was that the trait points are different. Is that from Repentance or is that from one of the other ones?
That is from Repentance. Your
Okay.
form traits, I know the tree looks a little weird because there are some 1 point traits that are later than the 2 point traits, but the idea is that the points are much cheaper. Not the points, the traits are much cheaper. So if you look, you will see that almost everything is cheaper. And you'll see, yeah, not all traits points spent because the traits you have by default in that faction don't add up to 5.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
For
cool.
example, mounts are 2, athletics is 1, resilient is 1. All of those used to cost 3, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, traits are basically now 1 and 2, so you can choose 5 1 point traits if you want, or like 3 of them and a 2 point trait, like a mount.
I take it you didn't change anything with Underground or these other adaptations?
I didn't, but honestly, I don't recommend picking those anyway because they kind of screw with map generation
Yeah.
in a bad way. I don't know why, but I feel like those just need a like look into from someone who is more capable with modding or even development than me because I'm not exactly familiar with how map generation works, but they definitely screw over with it with the adaptations.
Mm-hmm. I did have in here that you changed Mighty Meek, and that was pretty much the last thing I could mention from the testimonials. But if there's anything else you wanted to look at in like the patch notes or look up in game, we could talk about some other details too.
Um, hmm, maybe you could go into a game and cheat in the tier 10 Chaos perk and show them what it does. When you pick Merciless Slavers in my mod, you start with Reign of Destruction unlocked by default. So you have this perk at the very start of the game if you pick Merciless Slavers,
Oh,
the
really?
society trait. Yeah.
You with this
And
thing right
now,
here?
yeah, this thing right here. And now look at the tooltip is not updated, but look at your stack
Oh, oh, oh,
and look at the unit.
oh. Yes,
It
this
has
is the
quick
main
phase.
selling point. All right, Merciless Slavers, let's go. I think I have to play this faction. That's a
Merciless
that
Slavers is not a faction, but yeah, it's a society trait.
is yeah, that's what I mean. Build to, but no, that's a perfect place to end the video on because there's
Oh
other
yeah.
gems in
Also
there
look at
like
the
this.
abilities it has. It has
Did
quick
it
phase
change?
now and
Oh,
high maintenance.
okay. No, right, because you did change the maintenance on a few of them, right?
I made dragons not have high maintenance. This is the only tier 5 with high maintenance now. But it's
Wonderful.
a lot stronger than it is in the base game because it has quick phase and it also has meteor strikes. If you look over the flare of swords, for example.
Yeah.
Actually, don't click on it. The tooltip may not work. Okay, it does work. It does work. Meteor strikes is there.
That's cool. Oh, I see it. Meteor strikes. Oh, it's you gotta be careful. There it is. That's what that does.
Yep.
But yeah, that was really fun. We'll have to try and get a game going with with your mod one of these days. And hopefully, yeah, we got you some
Oh yeah, I would love to.
new
I think it
people
would
in the
be
player
really fun.
base. Cool. I'll
Yeah,
see you
that's the
around.
main goal to make games more fun. So yeah, hope to start a game going and do all that stuff.
Yeah.